Hi guys, Crochet Connect here. I'm coming to you today with a few small finished items and a lot of purchased items. But before I get to that, just a little bit of housekeeping. You might have noticed that I stopped doing the Vlogtober vlogs. I wasn't in the mood to do vlogging every day. I was getting really tired, and also the first about week and a half of October I was kind of sick and I had a very bad cough, so I couldn't talk for very long, so I just gave up on the Vlogtober. I just wasn't feeling it. But I'm okay. I'm doing fine. I just wasn't up to vlogging every day. But I'm glad to be here now doing this update. And also, for those of you who have been following me on Instagram, you might notice I haven't posted in a few days. We've been having some Wi-Fi problems, and I can't get my phone connected to our Wi-Fi anymore, and I don't have data on my phone because I don't really surf the internet when I'm not home. So I just connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. But a couple of days ago, our internet service provider had an outage that lasted about 4 hours, and then when it came back, our laptops connected to our Wi-Fi fine, but our cell phones, like both mine and my husband's cell phone, and also our PlayStation 3 will not connect to our Wi-Fi. I have no idea why. My college diploma is in IT, so that's my thing. But like, I've tried everything. I've gone into our router and tried all kinds of setting adjustments, and I went online and I tried every single solution I could find online, and just nothing's working, and I don't understand why. It's just a mystery. But our router is actually quite old. We've had it for quite a while. I think it's somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 years old, and it doesn't have the most up-to-date speeds and Wi-Fi protocols on it. So I'm gonna go out and buy a new router at some point this week and see if that works. So if you see a new post from me on Instagram sometime this week, then you'll know it worked. And if not, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna work on that. So hopefully you'll see me back on Instagram soon. So now for some finished projects. I know you probably remember I mentioned that I was going to make some window decorations for my kitchen window and my front door for Halloween. So for my front door, I finished this jack-o'-lantern. All of these I found on patterns online. I'll put the links to all of them down below. But I did adjust all of the patterns to make them a little bit bigger. I think I added about 3 more rounds to this one because I wanted a good sized pumpkin for my door. And then I just cut facial features out of felt and glued them on with fabric glue. So there is that. And then I made a bat. This actually took me a while to finish because it actually starts from the tip of the wing and goes down this way, the pattern, to the other tip of the wing. And the pattern for the second wing was written differently from the first wing, and it was not looking the same. And I tried like redoing it many different ways to make it look the same, and it just didn't look the same. So then I just went back and did it as the pattern said, and then added the border, and then it actually kind of looked the same. So I still don't think it looks exactly the same. I think this one is a little bit wider than this one, and the points are a little bit different on the wings and stuff, but it looks close enough. I don't think anybody's gonna notice. So I think I might need to stiffen it somehow though. I did block it, and it's a bit flatter than it was when I finished it, but if I hang it up, I don't think it's gonna lay flat on the window. So either I'm gonna have to hang it up with 2 hooks on the wings or try to stiffen it somehow. But yeah, so there's the bat. The bat I did not adjust the pattern for. I left it as is, and it came out this big. But I did use, I think, 1 size bigger hook than it called for. And, this was done in Red Heart Super Saver in Carrot. The pumpkin colorway was a little bit too bright. I wanted a bit darker orange, so I used the Carrot. And this was just some random green I had. And this is Red Heart Super Saver in black. And then this was just some random white and some black felt. And I doubled the instructions for all the stitches and all the rows to make this a little bigger because these were like little tiny ghosts. Somehow I did block it, but somehow when I crocheted it, this hand came out curled around the edge, and I have no idea why. But this might need a little stiffening too. But yeah, so that's gonna. So those are the 3 decorations I have done. The facial features are also felt with fabric glue. And I'm going to work on a skull and a spider this week. So hopefully I'll have them done to show you soon. And the only other thing I worked on was the bowling set I mentioned in a previous video. I got 1 bowling pin done. And I'm not quite satisfied with it. I mean, it looks okay. But the pattern says that the bowling pins are supposed to be about 8 inches tall. And this is not 8 inches. This is so tiny. I measured it, and it's actually about 6 inches. I think it'd be kind of lame to bowl with pins this tiny. I don't know. So I am going to try maybe a bigger hook and try again. And plus I don't know what happened with the bottom, but I did not do the bottom correctly, and it's like really weird. So I'm just going to try again with a bigger hook and some more stuffing, and because I don't think I stuffed the neck and everything properly. It's kind of floppy. But yeah, so I'm going to try again with a bigger hook and more stuffing and try to get it proper size. But it was fairly quick. I whipped up this pin in like less than 2 hours. So there is that. I want to try to get the bowling set and the Molly Dolly, which I have not started yet, done for Christmas. I would like to have them under the Christmas tree on Christmas morning if I can. It's a little ambitious for me, but I'm going to try. So that's all the crochet I've done in the last few weeks. I have not worked on my friend's wedding afghan anymore in that time because I've been wanting to get the Halloween stuff done, and I just haven't felt like working on the afghan pattern. But I did find, which I wanted to show you, this little Tinkerbell charm. Somebody brought this back for me from vacation, I think in Disney. I don't know. I can't remember if it was my sister who brought it back or my parents or maybe my husband's parents. I cannot remember who gave this to me or when. But it's been in my jewelry box for quite a while, and it has January birthstone on it. That's my birth month. And I realized it had a claw clasp, so I could use it as a stitch marker or progress keeper. So that's what I'm using it for here, so I can remember which one was the first motif, because all the motifs are joined in relation to the first one, so I need to remember which was the first one. So yeah, so I remembered I had this in my jewelry box and it had a claw clasp, and so I wanted to use it as a stitch marker, and that actually got me thinking that when I go to my thrift shops every so often, I could check out the jewelry, because I'm not sure what exactly this was meant to be. I think it was meant to be a charm for like a bracelet or a necklace or something. Probably a bracelet. But, so yeah, so that got me thinking that when I go to the thrift shops, I can check through the jewelry and see if there are any necklaces or bracelets that have charms with claw clasps, and I can use them as stitch markers. So I've actually gone to a lot of thrift shops in the last couple of weeks because we've been looking for stuff for Halloween costumes, because my husband's cousin is having a Halloween stag and doe. For those who don't know, because I don't think this is done in very many places, but a stag and doe is a party that an engaged couple has, with like raffles and like kind of gambling games and stuff to raise money for their wedding. And they decided to have a Halloween one, so everybody has to wear costumes. So we've been going to a lot of thrift stores to look for stuff for costumes, and so I actually have been looking through a lot of jewelry at thrift stores, but I haven't found any claw clasp charms yet. But I'm going to keep looking. Maybe even if I find some regular charms that I really like, I might buy them and try to find some claw clasps at like Michael's or something and make my own stitch markers out of them. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so that's another thing on the long list of things I need to look for at thrift stores. So yeah, so there's that. I really need to get a move on and stop rambling. Okay. So then couple of weeks ago, I went to Michael's and I picked up a bag of googly eyes because I didn't have any, and I wanted to have some in case I made motifs that needed googly eyes. Because I also want to make Christmas ones and Easter ones to decorate my door and window with eventually at some point, and I don't know if I'm going to need eyes for any of them, so I wanted to have some on hand just in case. And I found this pack, and they have their own adhesive, their adhesive wiggly eyes. I don't know how well this adhesive is going to work on yarns, but we'll see. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I have hot glue and stuff that I can use. And I especially like this pack because not only does it have adhesive, but it has 2 different size eyes. You can see there's like average size ones, and then there's like really teeny tiny ones. So yeah, there's 2 sizes. I don't know if it says what those sizes are. Oh, there's 7mm and 10mm. I don't know if I would ever need the really tiny ones, but I thought they would be good to have on hand anyways. I might want to go back and get some even bigger ones too. I don't know. We shall see. And this pack has 160 eyes, and it was $5, which was a little pricey compared to the other eyes, but I guess that's because it has adhesive on it. So I thought that was not too bad, so I grabbed that. And as I was crocheting the bowling set, I realized that for the bowling ball, like I thought it was just a stuffed ball, but it is not. It calls for a styrofoam ball, and then you crochet over it. And it said to use either 2 or 4-inch balls, so I got a couple of 4-inch balls. I actually found this at a thrift store. They are actually dollar store balls from a chain of dollar stores we have here called Dollarama. And they originally sold for $1.50, and the thrift store I found them at sold them for 50 cents. So I thought that was a pretty good deal, so I got that. And then this morning we went to our public library's annual book sale. They sell old withdrawn books from the library and any books that anybody donates. Anybody around the city can donate any books they want. So I hit the crochet jackpot this year. I always look for crochet books at the bookstore sale, and over the past few years I haven't really had that much luck. I found a couple here and there, but this year I found 4 crochet books. I'm disappointed that I didn't find any Crochet World magazines. I always look for them every year because I know our downtown branch of the library does carry Crochet World magazines, but I guess they never get rid of them because I never see them there. I've seen one once, maybe about 4 years ago. I picked one up and showed it in a video, and that was like the only time I ever saw one. I did find general craft magazines and knitting magazines today, but no crochet. But I found 4 crochet books, so that was good. The first one I found, I actually found in the youth nonfiction section. So that's a good place to look if you're ever looking at your library or at a library sale. The youth craft books often have knitting and crochet. So I found this amigurumi toy box. It's all little plush toys, and there's also a couple of little plush food items, but it's mostly animals. Although I have to say my favorite is the hot dog. So yeah, so at first I was a little hesitant because I thought this was going to be one of those amigurumi, because they look tiny, and so I thought it was going to be one of those amigurumi books where everything is made with like tiny hooks and like thread. But I looked through for a minute and I saw that a couple of them were worsted weight yarn, so I grabbed it. And when I got home I looked through all of the patterns, and they all call for worsted weight yarn and either an F hook or a G hook to make the stitches really small and tight, I guess. So yeah, and there's a lot of really cute things in here, and they don't look like they would take very long to make. And they look like they don't take very much yarn, so that'd be a good way to use up scrap yarn too. And youth and children books were 50 cents, so I got this one for 50 cents. And then adult large paperbacks and hardcovers are $2, so all of 3 of these books were $2 each, so I was not going to pass them up for $2. So this one is Crochet Your Way. Obviously this one is the one that somebody donated because there's no library spine stickers or barcode sticker. So this one has a large chapter about like how to crochet, and then there is a chapter with like different squares using different types of crochet stitches, and then you can put them all together to make a giant afghan. And then the last chapter is all clothing items, which I'm kind of disappointed with because they're kind of like, you know, like 90s kind of stuff that I would never wear. Like that kind of stuff. And like those kind of t-shirts. I'm not sure I would ever wear those. Like some of them look okay, but I don't know if I would ever wear them myself. Sweater. Hope I'm not showing these too fast. And then some not so flattering vests. I should have got the hint from the one on the cover, but it was crochet and I just grabbed it. Then there's a little purse and hat set, so it's just the little things like that. There's scarves and mitts, and actually this shawl is kind of nice. I kind of like that shawl. It's kind of pretty, but it looks like it's made with a really thin yarn or thread or something. I don't know what it's made of. Baby mohair yarn of sorts. I don't know if it's how thin the yarn is. It doesn't say the weight, and I've never heard of that brand. So, but anyways, and then there's things like toilet seat cover and bath mat, and just other random little things like that. There's a baby afghan and some other afghans. Shoulder bag that I'm not really too keen on. So I don't think I'm going to be using this book very often. But it was $2, so it'd be a good thing to have on hand for reference. And then I found Cool Crochet, which was a library book. And it has a lot of really nice clothing that I would actually wear in here. And I like this one because it actually has a photo index. So I will hold this up. I hope you can see the whole page there. So that's the kind of stuff that's in this book. There's some really nice tops that I would actually wear in here. And some really nice shawls. So I hope everybody can see that well. So yes, there's a lot of things I would actually make in here. If I had the time and the yarn. But yeah, so like there's a wrap top I like, there's a shawl I like, there's some, there's a hoodie I like, there's a short sleeve shirt I like. There's a lot of things I like in here, so that was a really good find. And then I found this one, not a library book, there's no stickers or barcode. 150 weekend crochet projects. There's a lot of cute little things in here. There's some ugly little things in here too, but there's a lot of really cute little things. There's a whole Christmas chapter. There's like little neat things like that in there. Little kitten. Little kitchen set. There's all kinds of cute things in here. And then another thing I like about this book is that there's all kinds of random little crochet tips in here. There's all kinds of tips like how to set prices for your stuff, tips about stuffing, tips about cleaning stains out of your crochet items, tips about crocheting with conditions like arthritis and stuff. There's just tips about all kinds of random stuff in here. It is so handy. And there's a lot of cute things in here. Sunflower hot pad. I really like this cat note holder, and that's pretty cute. Like there's a lot of things in here you would never even think of. Little things for craft fairs and stuff. There's toys for children. One thing I really like that I'm going to have to make for my daughter at some point is this Jingle Bell hair accessory. I don't know if you